tree, there's actually a lot you should know before you make your purchase. So Brian is actually going to walk us through it. We love talking about trees on the show. When it comes to Christmas, we always have you come in here because you're a big Christmas tree fan.
I am.
So you've brought all of these gorgeous looks here, and they just make the studio so festive.
I know. Doesn't it make it so wonderful? As it's getting colder, you have something to look forward to.
Well, yes, thank goodness, because
gray.
if winter was just winter without any of this stuff, I'm not sure how I'd get through.
Exactly.
Walk us through some of the different varieties we have here, because there's a tree literally for everyone, starting from this one over here.
So these are all Gluckstein Home from Hudson's Bay.
Nice.
And most of these trees are 7 foot. That's the average height. You can go small if you want it on a table, or very tall if you have a high space. But most of the time we say 7 feet because you might put a topper on it.
Right.
And then you're getting up to almost 8 feet and you're getting close to your ceiling.
Yeah.
So we have
Who puts the topper on yours at home? Is it you or Gary?
Well,
who's getting on the step stool?
Well, the problem is we had a real one day, and he wired a menorah on top. And the whole tree went crashing down, and the water went everywhere. I'm like, that is the last time we're having a real tree, because there's so much water in that reservoir.
Yes.
It was a very expensive Christmas.
It was a nice sentiment. A little bit of Christmas, a little bit of Hanukkah.
Yeah, but just keep the menorah on the table.
Right, okay. Lesson learned.
So you want a light topper. The angel should be very light for the star.
Light.
Yes.
Okay, so this one here.
This is a pine.
Beautiful.
And that one is a little simpler, a little less dense.
Right.
So if you're the person that puts a lot of ornaments on, you don't have to go overly dense with your tree. You don't have to spend it on, an overly dense tree. So that one is a perfect tree.
Yes.
Then we have this one.
She's so pretty.
She is not shy.
No, she isn't.
This is not a demure tree. So this is actually, if you look at it, it's ombre, and it goes from all silver to white at the top, and it blends in between. So if you are, modern, sparkly, glittery,
glammy,
glam, this is your tree. It used to be every tree was like the same pine tree.
Yeah.
No more. This is like, we're talking personality.
Absolutely.
So this is not for a shy person.
No, and I see her in like a beautiful, like contemporary condo.
Yeah, cool.
Because it's nice and thin, she's gonna fit.
Cool.
Okay, so you were saying about, decor and denseness of a tree. This one looks full.
This is full. This is the Swiss Alpine.
Kind of tree.
Yeah, this is a beautiful tree.
Yeah.
And this already has some decor with the pine cones on it, but you'll know this is what it's called, it has different tips, a multi-tip. So you can see they're all different tips on them.
Right.
So this one almost looks like buds, and then the green one, and then the small one. This is a very dense tree, and it doesn't need as much decor. It's almost like the tree is so beautiful with the multi-tips on its own. You still want decor on it, but not as much as I would put on that one.
For sure. If you're a little, lazy like I am, you're going to want a denser tree.
Yeah, pull it out.
You put less stuff on it.
Yes, and also if you're going to buy tinsel, put the tinsel, you don't wrap the tinsel around, you put it inside because that magnifies the sparkle and the light. This one does not need any tinsel.
She doesn't need it.
Doesn't need any tinsel.
Doesn't need it.
Doesn't need it. But if you're going to put tinsel inside the tree, and then it almost doubles the amount of light in your tree.
Absolutely.
But I love that tree.
And
it's
I love
pretty.
the variety and tips, as you mentioned.
So pretty.
So this one there, another full one. What's that one?
This is blue spruce.
Pretty.
So this one is about 2,000 tips. I think this is about 750 tips. The tips are the ends.
Yeah.
Now this has less tips because the tips are so big.
Right.
So that might have less tips because it's less dense.
Yeah.
This has a lot of tips because it's a fuller tree. And you'll see that's how they count. Each one of these is a tip.
Okay, so if you see that on a box, then you know that the tip count is about how many of those little branch things they have sticking out.
Correct. So if you're not a person that wants to use a lot of ornaments, you have to go a lot of tips.
Got it.
Because you want the tree to be full on its own.
Yes.
If you're saying, I'm just jamming that tree with things, you can go a little less dense.
Very nice. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, you've got a nice white choice there.
Very
it's
natural,
less glam.
isn't it? Very natural.
Very natural. It's just like it grew right out of the forest. It's so natural.
So this is the tree if you want to do that winter white with all silver and crystal and all of that, or if you're the really whimsical one.
Yes.
that really likes those crazy, fun, kooky colors, rainbow colors.
Yes.
Wants that tree that you look at and you just laugh because it's so much fun. That's the kind of tree you know, have some fun. It has a sense of humor to it, so you want to have
Totally.
fun. Or it can be very glamorous and snowy.
Or it can be glam. If you've got young people in your house, that might be the nice thing. You put like, you know, more pastel colors and toys and stuff like that on the tree. Finally, the flocked tree. So there's indoor and outdoor, but this one is an indoor flocked tree. It's nice if you can buy it flocked.
Yes, because if you were going to flock your own tree, which I don't recommend, you're going to find flocking for about a year around your house because the flocking is everywhere and it sticks.
Yeah.
So try to buy a pre-flocked tree.
Yes.
I just love the look of this. And trees aren't only for the inside. I like trees. We make trees for the outside.
Yes.
I love to look out on the balcony or the terrace or the deck and see trees lit up outside. So don't think of them just for the inside.
Talk to me a little bit about the lighting. So most of these are pre-lit.
You want to buy a pre-lit tree. It's much easier.
Way easier.
And when you take the tree apart, there's connections in between, so you don't have to undo it. And you just take the tree apart, and it's done.
Would this be considered warm light, cool light?
Most of this is warm light. You'll see it has a bit of a yellow cast to it. It's still an LED, so there's no heat.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to worry about that, but there's a warm light to it.
And finally, let's talk tree shape. So what are you looking for when you, because these are sort of, they're shaped a little bit differently, all of them. This is thinner, they're fuller.
It's all about space.
Right.
So if you have minimal space, you want a very tapered tree. So it's called a tapered tree. If you have small space, maybe if you have multiples and you want them in different spaces, you put a big one in a big space. But it depends on your space. So you don't want, if you have a little space, don't get a huge tree. Get a tapered tree. You have to
take out your furniture, right?
You have to move it out of the house.
Brian, thank you so much.